What does the new Labour government mean for pensions? Okay, today we're going to be covering three key topics. 1, the triple pension lock, I'm sure you've all heard of. 2, pension reforms. And 3, lifetime allowance. And before I get into that, guys, we work very hard here at the channel. The very best thing you can do to help us help more people to hit the subscribe button below. It is genuinely the very best thing you can do if you think our videos are good and you think more people should be watching them. Okay, so to start off with, I'm actually going to be going to the Labour government website to take this from the horse's mouth. So the Labour Party pension policy. We will keep the pension triple lock and give pensioners security in retirement. Okay, so let's dive straight into that. What is the triple pension lock? We can have a look at that on the government website as well here. So the state pension triple lock, as it's referred to, a triple lock is a government commitment to uprate the basic and new state pension every year by the highest of earnings growth, inflation, or 2.5%. So this has been a long-standing commitment from the UK government, and again, Labour are coming out to say they will not be doing away with the triple lock. It's very hard for them to do anything other than that, being the Labour Party. So yeah, it's not a great surprise that we've seen this, but it is a very valuable thing for people inside the UK and has been in place since 2011. So not much news there. It's a straight away in the header, it's being kept, which is good news for everyone. Now, as we start to read through the rest of this, my job as a financial advisor is I analyze things. I look for facts, I look for data, and that's how I make an informed decision. In my personal opinion, I find politics quite confusing with the terminology and the language that are used. Let's just give a couple of examples. Labour will protect the triple lock on pensions and increase the state pension each year in line with inflation earnings or 2.5%, whichever is higher. So that's exactly the same as it was before. The only thing is that Labour will protect the triple lock. Okay, understood. We will support pensioners. So what does support pensioners mean? I don't know. We'll support pensions, give them dignity and security they deserve in retirement. Now, again, as a lawyer, if you read that sentence, it doesn't mean anything. There's nothing in there which is tangible that the government is going to do from what I can see so far. And all of our plans are fully funded, and we introduce tough spending rules to keep mortgages in place and taxes as low as possible, delivering economic stability in our first step for change. We will cut energy bills. I'll skip that part. How the Tories have hit pensioners with a tax bombshell. Rishi Sunak has failed pensioners. Okay? Again, like, for me as an analyst, what's the definition of failed pensioners? And this is the problem for me with politics. There's lots of conversation about things that sound headline rates, but what does it actually mean? I would like to see the evidence of how Rishi Sunak has failed pensioners. Over the last 14 years, pensioners have paid a heavy price for Tory failure. Again, second word of the use, failure, with no evidence of failure. And again, I'm not saying that I'm Conservative or Labour, whatever. I'm just purely giving my opinion here. The crashed economy, plummeting living standards, health and social care on its knees, rising crime, the highest tax burden in 70 years, record numbers are now paying income tax. So again, lots of, in my opinion, hyperbole here. The economy, the crashed economy, I'm not sure the economy has crashed in the United Kingdom. So I'm going to kind of skip that part. It doesn't really seem to be much of interest. The next part, how Labour will support pensioners. Labour will turn the page on Tory chaos with economic security and political stability. Again, what does that mean? What is the Tory chaos that they're referring to? There's no evidence, there's no data which has been presented here for me so far. The Labour government will protect the triple lock. Again, it's the third time it's said it now so far on the website reading through, and review the current state of pensions and retiring landscape to check if the current framework can deliver sustainable retirement incomes for people. We'll also give the pensions regulator new powers to intervene where schemes fail to offer sufficient value for their members. Excellent. This is the first thing I can read that I think is a massive positive, giving the pension regulator more power and authority to go in and check what pension schemes are doing. Now, one of the top things that they're talking about is pension reforms. Now, this is not actually necessarily a Labour thing from my understanding. The Conservatives were talking about this as well. And basically the idea is getting more of your pension money into the UK economy and small UK companies. Now, on the face of it, that sounds fantastic. If you're Labour or if you're the government, I think that is very good for you. But as an individual investor, where do you want your money to go? In my professional opinion, there shouldn't be any great efforts to get money into any specific area, region or country of your pension pot. Your pension pot should flow to the geographical areas that make up the split of the world. So for example, at the moment, North America equity markets far outweigh the size of the rest of the world in terms of equity markets. The UK makes up just 4% of the MSCI World Index compared to 11% circa about a decade ago. Now, is that a bad thing for Labour and UK government? Potentially, yes. Is that a bad thing for you as an investor? I'm not sure. Look at the performance of the S&P 500 over the course of the past 10, 20 years. Past performance is no guide to future performance, but look at the performance of the FTSE 100 over the past decade. Where would you have rather had your money invested? So schemes like this from the government, where they're talking about getting more money invested into the UK economy, if we go back to economics, if we go back to university and think about the invisible hand of economics, that's not an invisible hand. That's a government forcefully trying to ensure more UK pension assets end up in UK companies for higher growth, smaller businesses. But that's trying to have an impact upon the global markets, which I don't think is correct. And it's a bit like overexposing yourself to the United Kingdom, even though the United Kingdom is becoming a smaller and smaller part of the global economy. That doesn't make sense to me. I think you should let the equity markets do what the equity market's going to do, and you shouldn't try to control them so much like that. Let me know if anyone has any comments on that. And as always, you can get in touch below via our calendar link to have a conversation with myself or one of our advisors here at Cameron James about your situation. Now, the third topic I'd like to talk about is lifetime allowance. So, there was a very big hoo-ha when the Conservatives got rid of lifetime allowance. Labour went out very quickly back then and said they would be looking to reintroduce lifetime allowance. That now seems to have quelled. And again, I can't make speculation or comment on what may or may not happen in the future, but the information coming out from Labour does seem to suggest that. So as we look here from the Financial Times, June 10, 2024, Labour drops LTA reintroduction plans. The Labour Party will reportedly not include its pledge to reinstate lifetime allowance in its manifesto, set to be published on Thursday. So again, what we can see here is that Conservatives did that, Labour came straight out and said they were going to do it. And I said at the time, re-rolling lifetime allowance and trying to reintroduce it would be extremely complicated for the Labour government. Here we are many months later, and that obviously seems to have come to fruition. Now, I'm going to be doing a separate video purely on lifetime allowance, because we had a lot of inquiries about that and a lot of people wondering about their pension pots in the UK. Should they be utilising solutions such as QROPS, which obviously don't have lifetime allowance applied to them. So you can head over to the channel to find that video. Guys, if you have any questions about this or any other questions about the new Labour government, the pension reforms I've talked about, the triple lock, lifetime allowance, let us know in the comment section below and I'll be happy to cover this in more detail for you.